Hello, Algebra 2. Here we are at 4.4, day 2. We're going to be looking at rationalizing, getting those i's off the bottom of a fraction, and then we're going to take a look at solving. Okay? So step 1, we kind of hinted at this a little bit yesterday. Was if you had 3i on the bottom, and we talked about doing the opposite. And when there's just one thing on the bottom, it doesn't really matter. It works out either way. So if we want to, let's just go negative, just to kind of keep it consistent. Because when we get down to here, we're going to do 3 minus 6i. So let's just go ahead and keep it consistent for now. All right, so when I multiply these out, we're going to have negative 12i minus 3i squared on the top, and then on the bottom we'll have negative 9i squared. Okay, well, negative 3 times I squared, we're going to put that in front because that's going to be our regular numbers. Remember, I squared is negative 1, minus 12i, that goes in the back. On the bottom we have negative 9 times I squared, which is negative 1. So how's that going to play out? We're going to have positive 3 now, minus 12i over, let's see, times negative 1, that's going to be positive 9. 3 minus 12i over 9, those are all divisible by 3. So that's going to reduce, divide by 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. That's 1 minus 4i over 3. So I'm fine with leaving it like that. Sometimes the book will say split it up to the real part and the imaginary part, 1/3 minus 4i thirds. They'll make you split it up. I'm fine right here. Okay, let's look at the next one. Let's see if you can try that one on your own. Go ahead and push pause on the video here, pause on the video, and give this one a go. All right, let's see. So we talked about in the last one that you could just, when it's just the 7i or just a 3i, you could just take that same thing, top and bottom. But for consistency, let's just go with the negative again, because that's what you're going to be doing down below. You're going to be doing opposites. So we're going to go negative 7i, top and bottom. So that's going to give us negative 42i plus, negative times a negative is going to be a plus 14i squared over negative 49i squared. Okay, clean them up a little bit. We're going to move the real part to the front. 14 times I squared is negative 1 minus 42i over negative 49 times negative 1. So now we got negative 14 minus 42i over positive 49. Okay, what do you notice about all of those? You can divide them all by 7. So we got negative 2 minus 6i over 7. And again, the book will probably split it up into real part and then imaginary part. So negative 2/7 minus 6i sevenths. They'll probably split it up like that. Okay, the medium problems. Okay, 2i over 3 plus 6i. So now when there's two things, you have to go opposite. You have to go opposite sign. So we're going to go parentheses 3 minus 6i, top and bottom. Okay, 3 minus 6i, top and bottom. And let's see how this is going to play out. 3 times 2i, we're going to have or 6i, excuse me there, minus 12i squared over 9 minus 18i plus 18i. We kind of hinted at this part yesterday. We looked at what happens if they're the same things but opposite signs. This is the nice part here. These will cancel out in the middle. Minus 36i squared. Okay. Well, we're going to rearrange a little bit. This is going to be the real part. We're going to put that in front. It's going to be a negative 12 times negative 1 plus 6i on the back. And here we have 9 minus 36 times negative 1. So this is going to be a positive 12 in the front plus 6i. All right, this is going to make this a negative 36. 9 minus negative is actually a plus, so 9 plus 36. We got 45 on the bottom. Okay, and we can divide all of those by 3. So we'll have 4 plus 2i over 15. Okay, let's have you give this one a go. 4 plus I divided by 2 minus 3i. Let's have you give that one a go. Push pause and try that on your own. All right, welcome back. Let's see how you did. Okay, opposites. All right, so we're going to go 2 plus 3i. Top and bottom. Okay, what's this going to do for me? 8 plus 12i plus 2i plus 3i squared over 4 plus 6i minus 6i minus 9i squared. Plus 6i minus 6i cancels out. Okay, we're going to have 8 and 3i squared. Okay, I squared is negative 1. This is going to be a negative 3. 8 and negative 3. We're going to have 5 plus 14i over 4. Negative 1, negative 9. This is going to turn into a positive 9 plus 4 over 13. 5 plus 14i over 13. You know, a little not quite as nice numbers as over here, but also it kind of works out because then you don't have to reduce. Okay, let's move on up to step 3, level 3. Tough problems here. We got i's and we got radicals. Oh no. Still the same strategy, but we just got to be super careful here and be detailed in our work. Okay, so it's going to be 4 plus I radical 2, which happens to be what is on the top. I'm not doing that because what's on the top. I'm doing that because it's opposite of what was on the bottom. It just happens to be what's on the top this time. Okay, same thing as on the bottom with an opposite sign. It just happens that it's the same as the top. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because same as these, but opposite on the opposite sign in the middle. All right, so we got to be pretty careful here on our work because this is going to be a little bit weird with all the symbols and the i's, okay? So 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times I radical 2, we got 4I radical 2 there. I radical 2 times 4, we got another one of those, 4I radical 2. And then we have this one, I radical 2 times I radical 2. So that's I squared times radical 2 squared. Okay, can we kind of think about what that should be? Square root of 2 squared should be 2. I squared is negative 1. This should be a negative 2. Okay, looking across the bottom. 4 times 4, so it's going to be pretty similar here. Maybe just some different signs. So we got 16 plus 4i radical 2 minus 4i radical 2 minus I squared radical 2 squared. This one was a plus. Okay, and again, we talked about this. Square root of 2 squared is 2, negative, or an I squared is negative 1, and we have a minus, so this is actually going to become a plus 2. All right, the plus 4i and the minus 4i radical 2's cancel out. Okay, so you can see where we got to be careful with this work. We got to be super detailed. So we got 16 plus 8i radical 2 minus 2. And then on the bottom, we're just down to 16 plus 2. Okay, let's do this. The 16 minus 2, that's going to be 14 over 18. They're all even, so I can divide them all by 2. Can I do anything more? I don't think so. 7, 4, 9. And that is where we'll stop. So, with all the i's and the radicals, that gets a little crazy, but you can do it. You can do it. You just got to write a lot of stuff down, especially the first couple times. Write a lot of stuff down, and the better you get at it, the less you'll have to write down. Flip the page. Solving. Solving with i's. All right, so I comes from the square root of negative 1. And we looked at this on day 1. The square root of negative 4, well, the square root of 4 would be 2, so the square root of negative 4 is 2i. Negative 50, we talked about this yesterday. We're going to break that apart to negative 25 and 2, and that would be 5i radical 2. Okay, so some beginning, and this is about as far as it gets with like the actual solving stuff. It doesn't get too carried away because they know that the I stuff is brand new to you. All right, so 5x squared plus 5 equals 0. Okay, so we could subtract the 5 over. And then we could divide by 5. And here we are with x squared equals negative 1. Okay, we square root both sides, and we know what the square root of negative 1 is now. It's I. Okay, so let's have you give that other one a shot over there. 6x squared plus 96 equals 0. Push pause on the video and give that one a shot. All right, let's see if we got this down. 6x squared equals negative 96. Subtract that over. Divide by 6, and we should be at negative 16. Square root. Square root of negative 16 is going to be 4i. Are we getting this? All right, and then this next problem is just a specific example for a homework problem. I think I tacked these on a couple years ago because this type of homework problem kind of tripped people up a little bit. So yeah, I added these on to the notes. Okay, so we got 9 plus 12i equals 3x plus 4yi. And what you're doing is you're comparing real part to real part, I part to I part. So 9 equals 3x. Real part equals real part. And then I part equals I part. 12i equals 4yi. All right, that makes it a little easier because here you're like, whoa, there's x's, there's y's, there's i's. How do I solve? Okay, you're going to compare the real part 9 equals 3x. And imaginary parts, 12i equals 4yi. Okay, we're going to divide by 3, and 3 equals x over here. And if you divide by 4i, we're also going to get 3 for our y value. So real part compared to real part, I part compared to I part. Okay, let's bring that strategy over here for this one. 2a minus 4b times I plus a plus 5b equals 15 plus 58i. Ooh, this one looks tough. We got 2 letters in each spot. Okay, well, real part with real part, a plus 5b equals 15. Or if you're having a tough time with real part to real part, think of it as which parts don't have i's, and let's put those two together. So this part and this part don't have i's, so a plus 5b has to equal 15. And then the I part, and this is why this one has parentheses around it, times I, so this whole part goes with this part. So 2a minus 4b equals 58. Okay. So we got 2 letters. I don't think it's possible to solve either one of these equations. Like this one over here, we were able to solve each equation individually because each equation only had 1 letter. Both of these equations have 2 letters, so it's not going to be quite possible to solve either one individually. But it is kind of stacked up like what right now? Like an elimination problem. Okay? I think the easiest way is let's just cancel out the a's. All right, so if this one's 2a, I want this one to be negative 2a, so I'll multiply this whole row by negative 2. All right, make sure we're taking it to everything. The further down the line we go, the greater chance of error. We tend to forget to bring the negative, or we just forget to multiply it all together. Negative 10b, negative 30. Okay, so I'll put just one little squiggle through here. I can still read it if I want to come back and use that one later. Okay, add down, cancels, negative 14b, negative 28. Divide by negative 14. B equals negative over a negative is a positive 2. Okay, so now I get to look back at any of the equations. And I kind of like that first one. That's why I only did one light squiggle through it. Just enough to know, hey, don't use this one right now, but also light enough that I could read it still if I want to come back and use it later. And I do, because I'm solving for A now. And this just has a single A, so that's going to be pretty nice. A plus 5 times B, which is 2. Okay, 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract that 10 over. Did I lose a negative sign? I did. Look at this. Positive 58. So this is a positive 28. Which makes this a negative 2. Oh my. Negative 10. You lose one little negative sign. We'll add that 10 now, 25. And I even made a big deal about this being a negative divided by negative. I didn't catch that. Positive 58. Negative 30. Yep, that's a positive 28. Divide by negative 14. Yep, that's a negative 2. Negative 10. Yep. Add 10, 25. Got it. 25 and negative 2. Test it out. Make sure it works. 25 times 2, 50, minus 4 times negative 2, positive 8, 58, I, 58I, even though they're not in the right order. 58I, 58I. Let's see here. We got 25, and then 5 times -2 would be -10. 25 and -10 is 15. Matches our regular 15. Whew, there it is, folks. That's good. That's good for you guys to see. It's okay to make a mistake. It happens all the time. You can go back and check your work and find it and fix it. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your homework. Let me know if there's any questions.